is Drock Jones, and I did my internship under niche business ownership, and enjoy my presentation entitled "Welcome the Whimsy." To start off, everyone here, if you've ever wanted to try something new, please raise your hand. Keep your hand up if you did not try out that thing out of fear. The amount of confidence the adults have is staggering. Keep that in mind. My mentorship was with one Mr. James Womack, or Jay. He's the owner of a place called Third Coast Games, a tabletop gaming store over in Friendswood, and he's like like expert in everything tabletop gaming, board games, war games, TTRPGs or tabletop role-playing games, all that sort of stuff. And he was my mentor. Now, some people might ask, why Third Coast? One, I love the store and I love the environment that is curated, and I really admire not only the environment and how well that they connect with their community, but I also admire Mr. J. Womack. He builds up nothing, great man. And big things that I learned from this, that I just hadn't really realized, small businesses have built communities up from the ground and are just such a pivotal piece of communities, and they're so important. Customer reactions can make or break a sale or even a customer's day. Yeah, as well as the most important, one of the coolest things I think I got to experience is how much of an impact making sure tabletop role-playing games are a place for everyone, and making sure that everyone knows tabletop role-playing games should be used in escapism as something to get away from the stress of your life, not to add to your stress. Miss Ebner, hi.
Hi.
Can you please roll me Arcana? You knew you were coming to a tabletop role-playing game. You didn't watch a video on how to do that? You didn't, I mean, I guess I can show you. So
I did, but it was a dress-up one, and not this one. So what is Arcana?
So Arcana, it's like magic, and it's tied to like your wisdom and stuff. You can just roll like a d20. Do you know what a d20 is?
I'm guessing it's going to be one that has a -1 on it.
A -1 on it?
Because it says -1 for Arcana.
No, it's going to be this one. It's going to be your d20. You're going to roll that.
It has 20 sides.
Yeah, that's why it's called a d20.
18.
So that's 17. That's like good, I guess.
Oh, because I have to -1 on the Arcana int.
Now, everyone take in mind that demonstration. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Feel how that made you feel watching that, how it probably made Ms. Zettner feel. I'll just keep that in the back of your mind while I talk about my product. Before I started my product, there are a couple questions I had to ask. One, why do I love TTRPGs? Why do I love that medium of storytelling? I love that medium of storytelling because it's so simple, but also can be so complex. It also is just this level of storytelling that has so much whimsy and is so easy to get into if people let you. Why don't more people enjoy them? Because it's hard to get into. It's so hard because there's so many numbers and so much complexity, and it's so many things to learn when you're first getting started. And then, what can I do about it? I decided that I was going to write an easy-to-learn TTRPG system with minimal mechanics that could be an easy bridge between not knowing and learning TTRPG systems, or tabletop role-playing game systems, and then also have a campaign book that has built-in learning mechanics. As you're learning, you are still playing the game. Why this product? First, I get to use my love of storytelling to share something that I love equally as much, which is tabletop role-playing games. As well as there's no need to plunge into like a confusing environment if there's something that can help you get there. As well as I like getting people into TTRPG systems, and getting the opportunity to make something that the whole point is getting people into it felt really tight. Before I could get started, I had to do research, so I studied 2 system books and 2 campaign books. First up was Kids on Brooms, which is a TTRPG system based around like 80s movies. Like if you've ever seen ones that are like Monster House or like, can't think of another one. I know Monster House isn't 80s, but it has that like vibe of like kids going. like kids fighting monsters or aliens or government agents. I love this one because of the stat orientation. It's much easier to help someone learn the difference between the stats. You can be like, you can roll a 4-sided die, you roll the 6-sided die for this, and da-da-da. There's also no class mechanics. That feels like that's a very big barrier for a lot of people. Having to learn all the nitty-gritty of every class can be very hard. The only cons, though, is there's no combat mechanics, which is just storytelling through fighting. And that can be fun for some people, but it's not really gonna help to bridge any gaps, because once you get into this, it's very hard to get into any other combat system. And it's very heavily themed. Like, the bones of it is so themed that it's hard to play anything other than, like, a kid fighting aliens. Second thing I looked at was Savage Worlds, which does have an amazing combat system with a lot of intricacies, and it's very easy to learn. As well as it's easy to theme. It's built to just be skinned as different things. It could be literally anything. But the problems with that is it's really complex to get into. Everything is so nitty gritty and numbers based, and there's tons of pages with nonsense words that no one really knows what they mean until you are like been playing for 20 years already. And then we get into our campaign books. The Curse of Strahd is one of the most famous campaign books. It's about a vampire, but it's based in D&D 5th edition. The reason it's most beloved is because it has very lovable side characters, and it's written with a very memorable story that most people remember. Cons though, the villain sucks. He's poorly written, and his motivations are very unclear, and it's very hard to get to the core of it and get you invested in what this guy's doing because he's awful. It also lacks a defined plot and message, like a defined path. It's sort of just, it gives you the very bare bones, and you kind of got to figure it out how to get there by yourself as a DM or like game leader. And then you have the trilogy from Pathfinder 2nd edition, known as Shadow of Blood. It has a very compelling story. It's known to be very compelling, hard. There's a lot of people like they want more books about it. And then also very comprehensive chapters, which is just, they're very easy to navigate, very nice to get through. Problems though, it doesn't offer much challenge. You get past like the 2nd chapter and you are essentially cruising on easy mode throughout the entire rest of it. And then it's also, you have to know a lot about Pathfinder to get into this specific one. You have to know all the mechanics of Pathfinder to get into it. And then the challenges that came with building this TTRPG system is a lot of creative droughts. It's a lot of like I have no idea what to write, I have no idea what mechanics could be used here. It was also making things too complicated and having to simplify it. It's also a lot of overthinking. Is this too complicated? Is this not too complicated? Is this too easy? Is too, like that kind of thing. And then also there's no blueprint for writing it. It's sort of just be free, do the thing. There's not really a like set path to do it, to write a system and a campaign book. And so, but I did do it, and it resulted in, I actually got that number wrong, it's a 48-page document with a book of storytelling. Sorry, I'm pulling it up. It's a whole campaign system and a campaign that leads up to level 10 in this system, and it can act as a very nice bridge. And it is, I'm going to bring it over so it's easier to see. It starts in chapter 1 talking about the specifics of the system with very bare minimum of information. And it looks like a lot of information because it's all words. But it's very like only what you need to know throughout the entire game. And then you have stuff about the world of the specific campaign book. And then the rest from chapters 3 to 12 are all about how, like, the campaign. And in every chapter you learn a new mechanic. That's kind of the way that it's built. Now we get back to our second demonstration. Hello.
Hello.
Does everyone remember the demonstration that I did like 10 minutes ago? Imagine if instead it went something more like this. Okay,
My
so
arcane
yeah.
-1.
Yeah.
Good.
For example, how about rolling animal handling? So for animal handling, that is attached, it's down here, this is advertised, so that's your second one. You have a +0 and it's tied to your wisdom. So like if you know animals really well, you have like a lot of wisdom in animals, that makes it a lot easier to deal with it. This character specifically doesn't have a lot of wisdom, but yeah. And then you're gonna roll the d20, which is this die right here. Yeah. Sorry.
No,
An 11 plus 0, that'd be
it's 11.
as 11. So that's like a medium-ish roll. Usually good meaning like a medium stealth check.
Mm.
Now, everyone, sorry, I have to move. That, you don't have to answer me, this is more rhetorical. Didn't that feel more connecting? More, hey, I want you to learn this, unless why don't you already know everything? That's a problem I see a lot in the TTRPG system, the tabletop role-playing games. Community, it's a lot of like, you must know everything, or why are you here? And that's, sorry, my brain just went blank. That was kind of the whole crux of learning this, of my product. And then, to wrap up, how does this tie into what I want to do? For those who don't know, I want to be a filmmaker. I want to make stories through the medium of film and television. And how does that tie into a gaming shop in the middle of Friendswood? Well, to start, it taught me a lot of how to create a safe and welcoming environment into something that's incredibly scary and complex. A thing that I see a lot is that film sets are very terrifying for everyone getting into it. And so being able to learn how to make an environment feel safe and welcoming was very important to me, as well as it taught me the importance of accessibility in storytelling to make everything less, to just simplify sometimes, that there's no need for this thesis level of craft every time. It's fine if something is simple, and to get everyone more complex, and to build up to something more complex. It also taught me a lot about outlining. For my product, there was a lot of outlining, so many outlines. And it taught me a lot of how to more effectively outline a story. In conclusion, I really enjoyed this process. I really enjoyed not only creating it, but also getting to have that time with my mentor. He's, like I mentioned, he's a huge expert in everything storytelling and tabletop gaming. And in general, if you ever have a chance to be in Friendswood and are in need of board games or dice or anything related to TTRPGs or any tabletop game, please visit Third Coast Games. Any questions? Yes, Mr. Massey.
Did you have a chance to test run your manual at the shop?
I did do that. Sorry, I meant to mention that. I had three sessions that were 4 hours each, where I was running with a group of 5 players that ranged from I've never played a TTRPG to I've played 7 TTRPGs. And I got to run it. With them. I got to edit and revise it, and then run it with a different group of people, 3 in a 1 session to work out some kinks. It was a lot of fun.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of the timing involved. Did tabletop role-playing games become more popular because of Stranger Things, or did Stranger Things adopt it because it was becoming more popular again?
For that timeline, it was, honestly, Stranger Things made it more popular.
Okay.
Because at the top, the reason Stranger Things has D&D elements is because the creators are D&D nerds.
Yeah.
And so it allowed a lot more people to have that, like, oh, D&D can be cool, scary,
Right.
fun, but it can be cool.
Mm-hmm.
D&D is more popular now, especially there's more, I think that plus all of the actual play shows. There's now a lot of action, like Critical Role and Dimension 20 and Dungeons and Dads. That, like, there's so many media so people can see it, can watch it. I think that's what really caused it to popularize, but Stranger Things just put it out to a wider audience.
Mm-hmm.
Being like, hey, it can be, I know it's really nerdy, but it can be a lot of fun.
Right.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
So in the shop
Mhm.
and running a small business, because
Mhm.
that's very difficult to run a small business because you're battling all the elements, especially in niche.
Mm-hmm.
With this, what are the big takeaways that you got on how you build community?
I learned a lot of like finding why that person is there. That's a lot of something that Jay is very good at, is finding like this person is here because they love cute animals. This, like, finding the center of why you came into the shop and using that to build out from that. I've seen him have I learned a lot of like how to build from that. Like if you came into the shop and you were like, I'm here for Pokemon cards, that can like start to narrow stuff down. You're like, and as well as just building idle conversation and never being afraid of like, never being afraid to be like, oh, so you really like this? Oh, well, have you ever tried that? Like that sort of like allowing them the freedom of, you came in here for one thing, but why? You know, finding that why and then using that why to just build out, if that makes any sense. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it does.
Any other questions? And okay. Thank you again for everyone for coming, and a special thank you to Jay. I know he isn't here, but yeah, thank y'all. That's it. Thank you. Yeah.
Up close.
Sorry, I know I just sort of like skimmed very fast. It's a
On
lot
that
of,
illegal device.
yeah. It's after school hours.
Did you ever
And actually,
play, sorry,
Oh, no, sorry, go ahead, I just thought something.
I was just gonna ask if you ever played, I just got into Baldur's Gate 3.
I have played Baldur's Gate
I'm
too many times.
still only in the first act,
Yeah.
and my wife has had a lot of fun because she's watched me play video games before.
Yeah.
And I was like, you might like this one because you can actually tell me to do things and I can do them. Because she's always, when she's watching me, she's like, well, just grab that picture off the wall. I'm
Yeah.
like, you can't, it's a video game.
Yeah.
And then I played that and I'm like, I can almost do anything you want me to.
Pretty much.
It's actually
You can
really-
do almost anything in terms of like Baldur's Gate, which is really fun. Like, of course, there's limitations, which is how TTRPG system works. But I think the anchoring in tabletop role-playing games makes it so fun. I think Baldur's Gate also helps it, like especially right now, D&D is so popular.
Mhm.
It is incredibly popular.
Well, that's why I asked about Stranger Things, because I feel like it was actually becoming popular
Mhm.
before the show. I
Critical
wonder if it
Role.
has to do,
Critical Role.
yeah, because it was, I know Mr. Hild was very into it before Stranger, obviously. Like, I think
Yeah.